Halftime in Minneapolis, and we have ourselves exactly the kind of playoff basketball game you would expect in a tied series. The San Antonio Spurs and the Minnesota Timberwolves deadlocked at 51 apiece. As we welcome you to the Hardwood Report at the half, I'm Ryder Bullock, and this game has already taken on the personality of a long physical postseason fight. San Antonio looked early like the more composed team. The Spurs led for much of the first half, and at one point by as many as 15, and they dictated tempo with defense, transition pressure, and the presence of Victor Wembanyama in the paint. Wembanyama has 16 points, 9 rebounds, and what stands out isn't just the scoring, it's the control. He's altering possessions, cleaning the defensive glass, and forcing Minnesota to rethink nearly every drive to the rim. The Spurs have not shot the ball particularly well from the three-point range, just 3 of 16 from beyond the arc, but they've compensated by attacking inside. 28 points in the paint, active hands defensively, and only 7 turnovers. That's playoff basketball discipline on the road. But Minnesota survived the early storm because of one man, Anthony Edwards, who has been spectacular, 19 points, 9 rebounds in the half, and he's carrying much of the Timberwolves' offensive burden. There were stretches where the offense stalled completely, and Edwards simply created something out of nothing. Pull-up jumpers, downhill attacks, tough finishes, through contact. He kept the building alive. The concern for Minnesota, though, is efficiency. 35% shooting overall is not sustainable if they expect to win this game. The Timberwolves are being forced into difficult half-court possessions, and outside of Edwards, constant offense has been difficult to find. Yet, despite all of that, they've battled all the way back even at halftime, and that tells you something important about this series. Neither team is going away easily. The second half now becomes about adjustments. Can Minnesota speed the game up and feed off the home crowd, or can San Antonio continue to control the rhythm and let Wembanyama slowly wear this game down possession by possession? Through 2 quarters, Game 3 feels exactly like a series that may very well go 7. Earlier tonight, the New York Knicks advanced to 1 win away from returning to the Eastern Conference Finals after a commanding 109-94 victory over the Philadelphia 76ers to take a 3-0 series lead. And once again, when the moment demanded control, it was Jalen Brunson who delivered it. Brunson scored 33 points and completely owned the fourth quarter. Philadelphia had trimmed the lead to 4 early in the final period. The crowd was alive, and for a brief moment it looked like the Sixers might finally turn this series into a fight, but Brunson responded the way stars do in May, calmly, confidently, and relentlessly. A 3 from the top of the arc, a tough pull-up jumper, a drive through traffic. Every important possession seemed to end in Brunson's hands, and every important possession seemed to end badly for Philadelphia. The Villanova connection continues to define this Knicks postseason run. Josh Hart gave New York toughness with 12 points and 11 rebounds. Mikal Bridges added 23 and key baskets during the decisive fourth quarter run. And remarkably, the Knicks are doing this without OG Anunoby, who remained sidelined with a strained hamstring. For Philadelphia, the return of Joel Embiid proved to be an emotional lift, but not enough to change this series. Embiid scored 18 points in his first game back after missing Game 2, while Kelly Oubre Jr. added 22, and Tyrese Maxey finished with 17. But the Sixers continue to struggle closing quarters and matching New York's composure late in games. So Game 4 set for Sunday. And no team wants to hear the words must win, but for the Sixers, that's exactly where this series is now. If they don't figure it out, well, the Knicks will be back in the Eastern Conference Finals. Spurs, Timberwolves, we're deadlocked. And before we send you back to Minneapolis, Anthony Edwards, hot at the half player, 19 points, 9 rebounds in the first half of Game 3. And frankly, Edwards has been the reason Minnesota is still alive in this game after trailing by 15 earlier in the night. Highest in the room, maybe. He's the highest in the room inside the Target Center, carrying the emotion, the crowd, and the Timberwolves' hopes into the second half. 51 all, game 3 coming down to the final 24. We send you out there now.